as well.
But the most
Thank you. Who is David Perdue? Let's take a look.
insidious thing that Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden are trying to perpetrate, and Bernie and Elizabeth and Kamala, I don't know.
That's David Perdue, a Republican incumbent senator from Georgia who looks and acts like a bad guy in a Disney Channel original movie. If that movie was about insider trading and the horrors of capitalism. As Perdue's Senate re-election bid goes to a runoff against Democrat Jon Ossoff in January 2021, let's take a look at the career of a lifelong CEO turned U.S. Senator who, instead of warning the American public about the coronavirus, capitalized on it. I'm Ed Helms, and this is the story of a fierce Trump ally who will make or break Republican control of the Senate. David Alfred Perdue Jr. was born in Macon, Georgia, to two school teachers in 1949. Perdue graduated from Georgia Tech, earning a degree in industrial engineering before getting a master's in operations management. In 1992, Perdue became senior vice president for Sara Lee, a food processing and distribution company which had expanded dramatically, acquiring companies like Hanes, Coach, and Playtex. On Perdue's watch, the bloated company began to restructure, moving American jobs to China. 9,900 jobs at Sara Lee were eliminated, and 4 of its plants in Georgia were shut down. As the company was thriving in Asia, Perdue prospered while his fellow Americans back home suffered. Perdue was asked in a 2005 deposition, "Can you describe your experience with outsourcing?" Perdue replied, "Yeah, I spent most of my career doing that." In 1998, Perdue joined Reebok as a senior vice president and worked his way up to CEO in 2001. To his credit, Perdue revitalized the brand. Both sales and revenue grew. But it's also worth noting that 11-time All-Star Allen Iverson signed on to Reebok in 2001. So it's unclear who the real hero is. After a successful...
Like, when that guy puts on a fucking denim trucker hat or whatever and goes like, Kamala Mamala, like, bitch, we know what you are. Like... I mean, we know what he is. Like, motherfucker, you worked at Reebok and, like, Sara Lee, okay? You're not the fucking, hey, look at me, I'm David Perdue, oh, Kamala Mamala. Like, that's not you, dude. Like, you're straight the fuck up LARPing, dude. You are literally LARPing as a more race person than you actually are just so you can fucking win votes with the Georgians. And they're so dumb and so fucking racist that they literally... eat it up. Like, come the fuck on, dude.
Stint with Reebok, Perdue signed on as CEO of Pillowtex, a struggling textile...
And for the person who asked, do you even know who Allen Iverson, the GOAT, AI, Hasan, do you know who Allen Iverson is? Bitch, he retired in Turkey, in Beşiktaş. Of course I know who Allen Iverson is.
...manufacturer. Under Perdue's leadership, the company continued to have its problems, but Perdue didn't. He made $1.3 million the same year Pillowtex went under, leaving thousands of workers who were only making $11 or $12 an hour jobless. After overseeing success for him and failure for his workers, Perdue then went on to head up Dollar General, a chain of discount stores across the United States, and seemingly a place Perdue has never stepped foot in. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote, Perdue helped engineer a leveraged buyout by KKR, a private equity giant. Tax records show Perdue took in $42 million from Dollar General in 2007 and 2008. After that deal, he had to pay a special golden parachute tax in 2008 on the money he was paid when he left the company. But the discount chain paid out $42 million in 2009 to settle several lawsuits alleging Perdue and other top executives earned big profits and gave stockholders $22 a share when it should have been worth more. Regardless of the failures and successes, Perdue always came out on top. Tax returns reviewed by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reveal that over 10 years, Perdue earned $55 million. In 2014, Perdue...
But he's got a denim... Hey, man, he's got a Canadian tuxedo, brother. He's fucking salt of the earth David Perdue, brother. You don't understand. He's got fucking bootstraps, brother. Meanwhile, he's like literally making money off of firing people, okay? And guess what, guys? We watched this happen, okay? When Mitt Romney ran against Obama, we watched what moderate Republicans look like and how they get fucking owned, okay? Mitt Romney still, absolutely without a doubt, in his campaigning, heightened the blackness of Barack Obama and whatnot, and talked about welfare spending and Obama phone and shit like that, right? But he himself was a respectable moderate Democrat. I mean, a respectable moderate Republican, sorry. And guess what? When you're a respectable moderate Republican, all of a sudden, your fucking, your elevators for your fucking cars come up and you get fucking owned. Okay? Meanwhile, this motherfucker's got like, he's raking in 22 million and shit, but guess what? He does the racism, brother. He's doing it every now and then. He's got the fucking denim shirt on. He's real. He's one of us, brother.
Perdue ran for Georgia's Senate seat and won. He said he was going to bring the perspective of the working person to Washington. It's unclear if Perdue was referring to the 100...
Yeah, he's bringing the working perspective to Washington. Like, can you imagine a dude who is literally... Like, he worked for fucking Reebok, dude. This guy is bringing the working class perspective to Washington. Fuck me.
Hundreds of working persons fired from Georgia-based Sara Lee plants he shut down years prior. In the Senate, Perdue has questioned the fact that there is a scientific consensus on global warming. When Trump appointed Scott Pruitt to the EPA, Perdue said, outside of eliminating the EPA altogether, Scott Pruitt is the next best thing. He also urged Trump to remove the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord. It's clear why, though. Perdue has taken at least $184,000 from the oil and gas industries. On healthcare, Perdue has repeatedly claimed insurance should always cover pre-existing conditions.
Health insurance should always cover pre-existing conditions for anyone, period.
Yeah, right.
Words are great, and just like his president, Perdue knows some of the best ones. However, he doesn't actually believe them. PolitiFact rated his claim flat out false. As a lawmaker, Perdue has voted 4 times to repeal protections for pre-existing conditions.
What a strange take. Oh, so when you're running on pre-existing condition protection, you run as though you care about, Georgians and their health. But when it comes down to, legislating, you're absolutely, without a doubt, trying to fucking yeet that shit. How do you vote for this guy? How do you vote for this guy? And by the way, let me tell you something, okay? This is why, again, marginal benefits or marginal and incremental change sometimes leads to incredibly important outcomes for millions of Americans' lives. Pre-existing conditions protection that was created under the ACA, or as you know it, Obamacare, was absolutely fucking argued against at the time leading up to Obamacare as something that's ridiculous. Like, the same people that are still on television right now that are now defending pre-existing conditions protections literally used to say, oh, it's like getting insurance while you're literally in the middle of a car wreck. You can't do that. Like, dude, you're such a fucking piece of shit. Like, how do you live with yourself? How do you fucking say this? How does these words come out of your goddamn mouth? Those very same dipshits are literally still on Fox News every day. Okay? And guess what? The reason why pre-existing conditions protection became a given and a literal point of no argument, no holds barred, like no more contention position for both Republicans and Democrats is because Democrats advocated for it and they got it done and they pushed for it, okay? They did it in a horrible, still market-based solution to a problem that requires literally socialism or socialization, but it's still passed through because when Democrats end up accidentally fucking doing a thing, that thing happens to be on the side of justice or more equality for Americans. And guess what? People fucking like that shit, dude. Turns out people like getting money. Turns out people like Social Security. Turns out people would absolutely, without a fucking shred of a doubt, love Medicare for all. These dumb motherfuckers in the UK that literally vote for Boris because he's gonna fucking purge the Polacks, bruv. That's why we're gonna vote for fucking Boris. I don't want a fucking shish kebab place in my corner of the fucking neighborhood, bruv. Like, those fucking dipshits are also the same dipshits that are throwing up fireworks on New Year's Eve about the NHS. Okay? When you give people something and they believe that they're entitled to it, they end up appreciating it, okay? That's it. No matter how much conservative politicians try to destroy it, You have to unequivocally not undermine your own cause and still advocate for it. I'm from the UK. This is all true. Yeah, those same fucking psychopathic morons were like, yeah, we gotta do fucking Brexit, bruv. They love the NHS. Yeah, it's bad. It needs to be funded more, but like, it's the best we got. Bojo's the top lad in it. He's gonna give more money to fucking NHS after 9 years of austerity, bruv. Oh, I believe in it, bruv.
Which threatens the estimated 50 to 129 million non-elderly Americans who have pre-existing conditions. Jumping to January 2019, Perdue became the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Subcommittee on Sea Power. But something fishy was afoot. About a month prior to taking the post, Perdue conspicuously bought up about $290,000 worth of stock in BWX Technologies, a firm that has lucrative contracts with the U.S. Navy supplying nuclear components and fuel for submarines and aircraft carriers. By January 9th of 2020, Perdue had sold off the position for a hefty profit of up to about $50,000. Geez, if I didn't know any better, I might think that Perdue allegedly traded stocks based on inside information. And wouldn't you know it, this might not be the only instance. In January of 2020, as the coronavirus was about to take the U.S. and world by storm, Perdue...
Remember when the dude was like, in the chat earlier, was like, oh, I don't understand. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, trading on information that you're privy to as a fucking senator. Yeah, this is why it's fucking bullshit, dude. On the phone, yeah, I was putting my swipe up on Instagram stories because I forgot to do it earlier today.
And a handful of senators received a classified briefing on the spread of the virus from the Trump administration. After the meeting, Perdue sold off up to $825,000 in personal stocks. The same day, he bought stock in a company that supplies PPE, meaning instead of warning the American public about the...
Wow, that's so weird, dude. Wow, that's so strange. I wonder why he did that. Probably just really smart investing, dude.
Obvious dangers that were to come, Perdue made sure to line his pockets prior to hundreds of thousands of American deaths. As of the publication of this video, Perdue has not apologized.
Not only did he not apologize, but he fucking kept misinforming Georgians. Perdue is the guy who also told other friends or his own like insider business owners in a private closed door meeting. He may or may not have informed other business owners about the damages of potentially the impact of coronavirus, while literally lying to the American people.
To his fellow Georgians or the rest of the American people for this craven financial transaction. In October of 2020, as Perdue launched a re-election campaign, his Democratic opponent, John Ossoff, called him out on this.
Well, perhaps Senator Perdue would have been able to respond properly to the COVID-19 pandemic if you hadn't been fending off multiple federal investigations for insider trading. It's not just that you're a crook, Senator. It's that you're attacking the health of the people that you...
Guess what? After this, he was like, yeah, I don't need to fucking ever do a debate with this clown again, and literally stopped doing debates. And I don't think John Ossoff is a clown. I think he did a really good job on these fucking debates, but that was the reason why David Perdue was like, yeah, we're never doing this again.
You represent.
He doesn't have to.
Perdue's investment activity during his one term in the Senate has raised some eyebrows, to say the least. The New York Times reported that he made 2,596 trades in stocks, bonds, and funds during his first term in office, sometimes reporting 20 or more transactions in a single day. The Times found that Perdue's transactions accounted for nearly a third of all senators' trades reported in the past 6 years. In one of the most damning transactions, Perdue was tipped off by the CEO of Cardlytics, a financial company, where he once served on the board.
Bro, this is literally an email. They have the fucking emails. Like, let me just say something here, okay? Like, he's literally like r/Wall Street bet style day trading at this point. But obviously, if you day trade like this, then you always win because you're day trading on information that's literally not allowed, like that no one else knows, okay? Only people within the company know. Now, in order to clap someone on insider trading, you need a certain set of information. one of the most significant pieces of information that you can use as evidence is not just like your positions or how suspicious the timing of your fucking trade was, but also literally the fucking email correspondence with someone who works at that company at a fucking executive level.
Receiving a cryptic email about upcoming changes from the company's CEO, Perdue sold off more than $1 million worth of stock. The Times notes, after the company's stock price bottomed out in March at $29, Mr. Perdue bought back a substantial portion of the shares that he had sold.
Wow! That's crazy! What? Oh no, they literally did have evidence, dude. There's like an email correspondence.
Now trading at around $120 per share. If enriching himself by any means necessary isn't bad enough, Perdue has demonstrated he will do terrible things to get a vote. In a disgusting, bigoted effort to defeat Ossoff, Perdue launched an anti-Semitic ad against his young opponent, who is Jewish American. The ad shows an altered photo of Ossoff in which his nose appears to be longer and wider than it actually is.
First, you were lengthening my nose in attack ads to remind everybody that I'm Jewish.
Perdue's campaign called it an accident and removed the ad.
David Perdue's like, oh, thank God he admitted it. You heard him, folks. He said he's a Jew. Georgians. Accident. Yeah, oops.
Fast forward to November 3rd, 2020, and neither Ossoff nor Perdue received more than 50% of the vote, triggering an automatic runoff in January 2021 between the two. Georgia also has two other senatorial candidates heading for a runoff, Republican Kelly Loeffler, who also sold off a bunch of stock after closed-door briefings about the coronavirus.
Like, it's nuts that both of the candidates have insider trading scandals. Like, it blows my mind. Like, absolutely blows my fucking mind that Georgian Republicans are literally voting for two candidates that got caught insider trading, dude. It is fucking insane.
And Democrat Raphael Warnock. These two races will decide which party controls the Senate and gains the power to shape Joe Biden's agenda. Perdue and Loeffler have since called for Georgia Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's resignation, citing, without evidence, failures in the election. It's unclear if they're referring to their own campaigns or the democratic process.
No, of course they're not referring to their own campaigns. They're referring to just the president's, obviously. Come on.
Case may be, control of the Senate hangs on two people who have shown they're willing to put their own bank accounts before the American people.
The Trumpies are live.